just going to do a quick intro and then we'll start talking on. If you're not sure how this is going to happen, while Hannah and Johnny are explaining it, listen up, okay? I'm going to help you. We'll guide you through this, so don't worry about it, okay? Hello! We're not ready yet. We on? We good? Hey. Okay, kettlebell battle. Battle board? Battle bell. Okay, hey, welcome to a Battle Bell production. This time we are highlighting KBX with Hannah Camden and Jonathan Skinner. So I'm going to hand over. They're going to introduce how today's going to run, focusing on kettlebell relays. I'm going to go behind the camera and I'm going to talk you guys through and present this rep by rep, placings 1, 2, 3, and 4. Enjoy, guys. Hannah, tell us what we're doing today.
Okay, so today we have got 4 teams, and these teams are 3 people lifting jerk, long cycle, and snatch. So we're going to have 2 teams head to head, and then the second 2 teams are going to come on head to head, and then the top 2 will end up battling, and then the bottom 2 will end up battling. So they've got a couple of lifts each to do.
Yeah, so what's good about this is when you're coming up to these events, if you run it as a relay as a whole competition, even if you're coming up to just do 3 minutes at a time, you're still going to get multiple lifts against multiple people. And as that excitement builds, we'll get placings, and with more teams to develop a knockout structure, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think everybody's ready for it. So thanks a lot for coming down and doing this. Thanks a lot for coming here to the Wolfpack, guys. We're going to get the first lifters up. We're going to announce the first teams going head to head. Let's get some bells lifted, guys. Let's go. Woo! Okay, do you want to call out the first teams up then?
Okay, so
do you understand the lift?
Teams are...
I'm with Al.
Kettle Zeppelin. Team 1, which is Elaine, Sarah, and Alex. Against Team 2, which is Deadlift Disco, which is Debbie, Aaron, and
Tina. All right.
So get yourselves warmed up, and then we'll be lifting in...
Okay, so the athletes are ready to warm up, and we've just been told we're going to have a
6 minutes.
6-minute start to go. So our first two teams are going to go.
Go next 2, I reckon.
Ollie, do you want me to keep this on?
So warming up here, we've got Aaron and Deborah Moulton, brother and sister. We've got Elaine Skinner, we've got Alex Hodgson, silver medalist in 2025 IKMF on half snatch. Elaine, old school lifter, coming back for this, supporting her son Johnny and Hannah. What you're going to see with this is the importance of speed of the changeovers coming in to be a factor. It's going to be more complicated than in traditional relays in WKSF because the bell weights can be changed. So normally you put the bell down and the other lifter has to put the bell up. The rules to this are a second lifter cannot touch the bell or their bell until the first 3 minutes have passed. And we're just going to take a quick little minute break to make sure everything's okay, and then get right back to it in 5, guys. So just watch the lift, so it's snatch, not half snatch. So you can drop here, it's full snatch motion that you do. Okay, so it's... it's too fast. Okay, fine, fair enough. Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, keep it simple, Okay, 4 minutes, lifters, 4 minutes. Judges ready? 2 judges to judge, please.
Where's Sarah?
You know it's a real competition when you're getting a nervous wee 2 minutes beforehand. If only those toilets flushed, eh? I know, yeah, my landlord's really happy about that. Okay, lifters getting ready to the platforms now. We're going to get going in just a minute, so... So first lifters up are going to be, I believe, Sarah and Aaron. Now this is coefficient lifted, so you're going to see on the scoreboard the rep differential between the bell weights. So it's going to give Aaron a big advantage on this. But it looks at the moment like Aaron's going to be doing all the lifts himself. Okay, here we go.
Hold on, I've lost my mouse.
And
sees his first run.
Got it. Okay. All right. 2 teams of 3, 6 lifters ready, 2 judges ready. Hannah, you ready?
Ready?
Okay. No.
Yeah. What lifter do you want?
Jerk.
Just accept the first three lifts. So yeah, ignore the names of the rounds. It's just
Quick water break for Johnny Skinner there. Okay. All right. You ready to go out? Yeah? Okay, I think we are ready for our first head-to-head. So, athletes, are you ready? Judges.
Hold on. Well, stop. The cameras are set up for the 2 outside platforms.
Yeah, shimmy along.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Cameraman, are you ready? Okay, right. So, judges, good to go? It's all right. We're just building dramatic tension.
Yeah. You're like.
Ready? Judges ready?
Take it away, Johnny.
Ready? Yes! Here we go.
Okay, in 5.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
And we're off.
Oh, let's make some noise! 0.3 prizes! Get them reps up!
You're going to see straight away now here the point differential per rep between long cycle home, Aaron using a 20 kilogram bell and Sarah on a 12 kilogram bell. First change there, Aaron's still going. And for those of you that aren't aware from the jerk motion, it's that second dip of your knees and then a look out at top. That Aaron's got a lovely smooth fixation, and then that speed change there as well coming in. Which means now that what's going to have to happen is when Alex is on a heavier bell, he's going to have a little bit of room to catch up, a little bit of work to do here. So you can see the point differential spreads clearly giving Aaron the advantage. And first minute on, and we've got a 20-point lead just about between the two. This is putting long cycle home in a nice, good position here.
Sit. Nice and relaxed and relaxed.
Will the headphones help you at all?
Go on, keep
Do you want
him?
No, it's just you twitting down the ear. I can't focus on anything.
And coming up to the halfway point. There's an argument here to make this more exciting if we took it from a multi-switch lift to a single switch lift, and sometimes in the relays we do this just because there's more of a sprint race here rather than an endurance element of a single switch. But as we're doing this to try and test it and find it out, and some of these lifters aren't really as experienced to get them onto that single switch.
Just because they've shifted over on it, so long because
It's very nice to look out. This point difference now is pretty much at 30 points, and if these two kept on going, it would just keep accelerating as Aaron's reach at any time with any sign of slowing down. But as they will now, long cycle home will now be on the lightest bell, the lighter bells for both the other rounds to go, which is going to give the other team, kettlebell Zeppelin, a little bit of a chance to bridge the gap. We've got 30 seconds. And we've got 2 very experienced lifters coming up here in Elaine and Deb about to take to the platform.
Nice.
So it's looking now at again, a 60-point lead here just from the weight differential. And that's our first set down. And it's going to be a change, and there's a 10-second change. So now Elaine's going to have a real advantage here on the weight differential. There's a chance to bring some points back. And Alex will have an advantage over Deb on the weight differential, but should actually let it provide for a competitive end. And think about the experience that Elaine and Deb have got here. So Tina just wants to look at that double dip just to get underneath that bell a little bit, but again, as we're doing it this way, it's just to highlight the technique for you guys who are watching this. And Tina, for reference, has only really been doing the sport for kind of like really 2 or 3 weeks, so she's showing a lot of promise with it, and it does take a lot to kind of get the second grip. So it is something that's going to be something she's going to work as a nice change there. And Elaine's really flying through on this, and you can see straight away that with the reps coming through and the weight difference here from the 12 to an 8, that Elaine's starting to chip away at this lead now. It's gone from it's gone now down to about a 50, but Tina's still giving it some pace. So it's not a guaranteed situation that the long kettlebell Zeppelin are going to climb this way back, but they're certainly starting to chip away at it rep by rep now with this differential, which means that hopefully we're going to see a nice little battle at the end between Alex and Deborah. And as we're approaching the halfway set for this, the lead's now really starting to chip into it. It's now a 60-point lead, and Tina's doing a good job just keeping it at bay with every rep she can get.
Come on, please!
The question's going to be now on this one, when it gets to half snatch, the question's going to be, or snatching, the speed that Deborah can get to, with the speed that Alex can get to, with what I believe is a 6 kilogram weight difference in the 24 to the 18. It's just going to be down to who can rep the most out, as we're slowly starting to chip away, slowly but surely at this lead now lane. But Tina's done a good job with her reps to try and really fight this off. I was expecting a slightly faster pace of the lane. I was expecting the lead from long cycle to just be slightly being eaten, but it's coming in now at about 70 points, which is kind of like where it got left off. So great job by Aaron and good job by Tina to hold it away. It's now going to be dead set to win or lose. So Deb's got more platform experience than Alex, but Alex has got a nice engine on him. He's going to have a nice fast pace. So we're going to have to see what happens in this last set. But I'm thinking, if anything short of a disaster for Deb, she's going to get away with this.
10 seconds!
Long cycle home is going to come away with the win here. Coming up to 60 reps by Tina. We're down at 218 to 140. Again, hovering around the lead now. And both of these are fast lifters, so Deb can keep this pace. She's just going to hold Alex at bay and take the win alongside the home. Pretty much neck and neck, which on a weight differential gives Alex an advantage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to have to really put on gas to whip it down. It is starting, you can see here, it is starting to fly up in favour now with every rep to get to the 6 kilogram advantage. So now at 196, hitting with 200, 230. So again here, he's doing a good job with these with the heavier bell, heaviest bell of the set, and now the pressure is on Deb in order to fend him away, but it's sunk now to a 15-point lead. And they're literally neck and neck on the reps. It's just the instance of a slightly heavier bell doing all the work for Alex. And he's got all the time in the world now. If he just matches Deb rep for rep, he's going to cruise ahead and take the win for kettlebell Zeppelin. And this is getting a nice, exciting finish here. We'll pretty much get the extra points, but unless Alex slows down, which he's just starting to do, it's now going to be a case that Deb's got to basically do 2 reps essentially for every one. It's a hard ask as fast a lift as Deb is. Yeah, kettlebell Zeppelin's just taking the lead on this now. And what's going to happen is with 90 seconds to go, all Al needs to do is just keep his pace, and he's going to coast it through. Lesson here in selecting the bell weight. And being able to lift the bell as well, which can always work against you if you pick it too heavy. But on multi-switch, it's a much easier task. And we're coming up to the final minute now, and now it's about a 30-point lead for kettlebell Zeppelin. He's done a really good job, slow and steady. He's fallen behind by about half a rep from Deb, but with the weight, the 18 kilogram to a 24 kilogram, every rep Alex gets done, it's just going to put it further and further more. What a flip side we get here, and what a lesson first time round in being able to execute with a heavier bell. Again, if Aaron had gone maybe a little bit heavier and tried to match Alex, then it would have been a closer fight, but it's come right down to the last 90 seconds. It's good thing to see for the score. It's just going to be a case of too little too late, and a bit of a safer day for Alex. He's still just behind on point. It's looking like Carabel's weapons going to take that first win and move into the finals. Now to see a real good fight, good speed, good rep by both.
Should have used a 32, Deb.
So after one, Kettlebell Zeppelin has one win. So Kettlebell Long Cycle has one win. Kettlebell Zeppelin sticking out in second. So Long Cycle Home still took it.
Bell weights no time to put bell weights in. So we should have done all three at the start.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been commentating on the wrong scores.
Well, I remembered second one in, I'm like, shit, so I did it quick, but I thought, like, yeah.
So Long Cycle, so as we weren't adding the bells, next time round we've got to do that. Yeah. Okay, so just for an update, guys, so the data wasn't quite put up there, which is why we're returning this, because the bell weights weren't accurately entered into the score system. So with this, Kettlebell Long Cycle Home actually managed to stick with a very close squad right at the nail biting finish and actually come through. So it's a shame we couldn't have the reps there accurately, because that was a lot closer than it looked when you see it. So Kettlebell Cycle Home takes the first win.
I don't know what's. Sorry, I've not been paid.
That's fine. So now it's.
One thing you want to do, guys, is take the time for the judges to make sure we know what bell weight the lifters are lifting, because we weren't actually getting the start with it, okay? Which is fine, it's why we're trialing this, but that was so much more exciting than we knew, and as I was commentating it, I didn't realise how close it actually was. So Long Cycle Home won. They just held on with it. So when the judges are judging, just make sure you know what weight the lifters are going to use, okay?
So this is why we're doing this as a trial. So essentially what was happening there was the weight of the kettlebell hadn't been entered by the judges, so the actual point system, apart from the first lift and the last lift, wasn't tallied. So in reality, Long Cycle Home had managed to hold off there at an absolute nail biter to come through and take the win over Kettlebell Zeppelin. So
10 seconds, it threw me. I thought I'd be having a couple of minutes, like in the head, and be able to sit there and panic. I didn't want to miss a rep trying to do.
But we'll get it for the next. We'll get it for the ones after this. So you see it going forward, and you see the difference it makes.
No, they managed to.
So it just won't be as they're going.
So head judge Gaynor is going to be in charge of making sure all the bell weights are in.
Right, it will switch. Okay, but then that's it. Okay, I see.
Johnny, you cheering?
Yeah. We didn't put the weight of the bells in accurately. So this time round you'll be able to see exactly rep by rep using each rep.
Okay, so we're just about to go for the second set. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to make sure that the bell weights are correctly entered into the system. So as we see this rep by rep, you will be seeing how close the actual one is. So this one's going to be a little more accurately presented, and it's also good to see some of these new and old lifters. So this time around, we've got Susie Edge, who hasn't been on the platform in a long while coming back. 4 times world record holder, multiple world champion. Taking a bit of time away from the sport, but she decided to come back and give this one a go. She's going to be with Amy Crump and Laura Grant, and then we've got Johnny Skinner, who's going to be with Bev and Robert Crabb. So we've got some real heavyweights and beginners coming into the sport. Johnny Skinner, one of the sort of cornerstones of England kettlebell lifting in terms of success. Now, head judge Gaynor, give me a fixation Rossi style, Gaynor. Give me a fixation Rossi style. Fixation! But she's entered all the weights now, so now we should have everything. We should have everything going according to plan now. This one, okay. So we're going to start off with jerk, and Johnny Skinner's going to be on the 32, as opposed to, I'm assuming, is either Amy or Susie on the 22, which I think probably Amy Crump will be doing this one, and it's going to give Johnny a big advantage on points because again, you've got a large kilogram differential between these two first lifts, so it's going to give Johnny's team a huge advantage here on the first lift, but then on the other lifts we've got quite experienced members fighting back against some quite novice members, so it's going to put a lot of pressure on Johnny to get a head start. I can guarantee you that whoever comes second to Johnny, you're going to have Susie Edge and Laura Grant really fighting back with decent bell weights to kind of put a lot of pressure on new lifters Bev and Rob. And probably with heavier weights is going to make a huge difference to this. So what I'm predicting is going to happen here is Johnny's going to go right out in a wild lead, and then little by little again it's going to get chipped away. It's going to be a case of can Johnny put a big enough distance between him and Amy to stop Susie and Laura having a chance at getting back against Bev and Rob, which is a nice way of seeing this tactic of the sport. It's a nice little dimension that it's going to add. Okay, we've got judges and lifters. Alex, you're my click man. Sit down. He carries my medals for me. He does my PR. He does my judging. Good to know.
The camera's right, Amy.
Okay. So yes. Yeah, again, just put all the weights in, so we should be fine. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So Johnny's going to be up first, going head to Amy, and on a 32 to a 22 kilogram bell, there's going to be a 10 kilogram differential per rep, which is going to give Johnny a massive advantage, and he will go at the speed of light, knowing him. So we're probably going to see Johnny's team come off to a flying start and build some real distance between him and Amy. And then what's going to happen is Susie and Laura will probably be able to pull this lead back or pull the gap down, and it will be a question at the end of how much left's in the tank, how big a lead did Johnny get, and how good a job do Laura and Susie do cutting into and chipping away. And that final factor you don't want to discount in the sport is even with new lifters like Bev and Rob, can they do enough to hold off the onslaught that's going to happen when you're going against experienced veteran world champion lifters like Laura Grant and Susie Edge. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see. It's going to be a pretty good prediction. I'm going to predict that I think Johnny might just be able to create a big enough gap to hold on to. All right, Ali, you ready? Yeah. Athletes, are you ready? Judges, are you ready? Okay, we'll click it live in 3, 2, 1, start. So 5, 3, 2, 1, lift. And straight away, John's going to get to work. And you're going to see here the point system flying through. So he's almost at a double mark already. Every rep, he's just going to get so much more per rep than Amy does. So all Amy wants to do is just try and get as many as he can in the bank. To do as much little base as he can for Susie and Laura to get to work with. First change by Johnny, and he's going straight with a good pace here. 13 before the half minute, so he's coming up at 28 rep a minute, 30 rep a minute maybe, even for his first minute. Okay? Remember, with the weight that Johnny can pull and the duration he can do with a 32, 3 minutes here with this really is just a sprint for him. And he can really get some reps per minute. 22 on the first, Amy's 18, so even on a rep basis he's trying ahead regardless of the weight choice. 20 reps by Amy, which is no joke at all, but
27, 28 reps in the first minute by Johnny, 29. It's a good job you're not doing IKMF reps per minute ratios, because that's well ahead there. And again, you can see the difference is almost doubling at 130 to 70. But the big question you're going to have is, once these two bells go down, how good a job can Susie and Laura do going back to the lead? So what Amy needs to do is not get in the head and just think every rep you get and help your teammates pull this back. But Johnny now flying through, he's going to easily break 50 in the first 2 minutes. He's giving 25 reps a minute average. And for those of you who watch this sport a lot, this pace per minute becomes really important when you're doing 10 minute, half an hour, 2 hour, hour-long sets. So 49 there, so he's going to break 50, which is going to be 25 average split. 200 points to 80 to 100, so it's a 100-point lead for Johnny, but we all know what's going to come in the next 6 minutes. It's quite an interesting stack of the teams here, because Johnny is exactly like I thought. He's building out a huge lead here. 1 minute to go, and he's almost at 30 reps a minute. Despite how long you're doing it for, 30 kilograms, that's an epic performance there. There's very few lifters in the world, and no matter what body weight you are at, you can pump out 30 reps a minute on a 32 kilogram. Just starting to slow down a little bit, but Amy now coming in around 20 reps a minute herself. It's starting to slow, so on a reps basis, 70 reps by Johnny to 47 by Amy. This is a big lead we've got, but tactically it's not a bad decision here, because Susie can go off like the speed of light, and Laura can certainly put some pace as well. 20 seconds, and now we're going to see a difference in what bell rates people are going to have. But as I see it, it's looking like Susie is going to be matching weight for weight and have a 10 kilogram, and same with Bev, which is going to kind of let deadlift disco get away with something. Great start, 85 reps in 3 minutes from Johnny Skinner. And now with Bev and Susie on the same belt, it now becomes a war of who's got the first speed. And again, here I'll put my money here on Susie. No respect to Bev, but he's just up against one of the most experienced lifters that England's ever really produced in certain respects, in Susie. And again, she's neck and neck at the start, just starting to pull away. So it's going to be a long, hard slog to try and chip back at this lead. The bell will be on the same weight here. Just breaking comfortable about half a rep here now by Susie. Now, I thought tactically, if Kettlebell Zeppelin had wanted to have a tactic to win this, I would have got Susie in on a much heavier bell. But there's going to be some give that Laura can have, as she's going to be going heavier than Robert, and certainly she's going to have a good pace to her. So about a 3 rep lead here, but it's just not going to be enough to hack into the enormous start deadlift disco got from Johnny Skinner on his 85 reps there. So 360 coming to 200. So again, chipping away at this, because it's about a 5-point differential, and it's only going to go faster, because once Susie gets going, you're really not going to stop her. So she's going to pull out a good 20 reps per minute average here for these 3 minutes, that shadow of doubt. So coming halfway, and it's 7 reps up. So just a little bit too little too late here. Had Susie been on a heavier bell, then she would put into it more. But it's a 160-point lead now plus, which puts it all on the shoulders of Laura Grant to try and cut as much into this lead as possible with a weight advantage on the bell. Now, Robert Crabb's a good lifter. I don't think he's going to keep the same pace as Laura. It's certainly going to eat into the lead, but I really don't think it's going to be enough. If you get 1 minute to go now. And again, slowly but surely, Susie's creeping 9 reps ahead, just cutting into a little bit. Had she been on a 16, got a little bit more of a difference there, made it a little bit more competitive. So coming up to 220 points with Susie to 380, so it's a 160 lead, which is slightly down now, but a 10 rep lead here now by Susie, and that 30 seconds lift from now, and all pressure on Laura to do what she can. won't be enough time in 3 minutes to cut this ginormous lead. Deadlift Disco will be going up against long cycle home when it comes to the final. We've still got 3 minutes of lifting left to do. Nice fight by Bev to stick with this and keep it going. 333 to 395. So again here, Laura on at 16, and she really can't let this bell fly. Yeah, we've been testing her in training, and she's going to get up to 20 reps a minute here. But you know, Rob's going to give it everything he's got. He's got and learning that release. It's still looking a little awkward on the catch, but he's letting it fly down. He's got a good pace matching Laura rep for rep. You can just start to see now the weight difference of the bell cutting in here, and just trying to cut this lead back now. It's now at 150, just over. It's going to start to eat into it, but there just isn't going to be enough time at 2 minutes 30 left with the lead that we have to really make this competitive. So it's much nicer to see with the right bells in the system actually where the distance lies on the points. So she is making progress now. So Laura coming up to 300 points in the next few reps, 273 now. And she's just matching Rob on reps. There's like about just a rep in between them now. 2 reps now in favour of Rob. So he's doing really well for his pace. He's doing a good job keeping Laura at bay. So he's not slouching by any means here. It's just with the additional points per rep with the 16 as opposed to a 12. Has now 440 in for Rob, and it's coming in at 293. So he's eating into that one whopping 180 point lead. It's now at about 140, 150, and she will, as we get to halfway, whittle it down to about 100 point edge. But you can write it down now. Deadlift Disco is going to go through to the final. Even if Rob puts the bell down now, but there's not enough time left in that whopping lead between scheduled out. And Laura's sticking with it. Well over 20 reps a minute by both lifters now. And there's going to be a little bit of fatigue coming in as 2 minutes of this pace is actually going to start taking its toll. So the last minute now, 468 to 327. So it's now a 140 point lead. And this minute's going to see Laura just maintain her pace, and Robert might just start to edge out a little bit. 2 reps between them, but on points now. Coming up to 30 seconds, we're about 350 to 480, so it is going to be Disco comfortably coming in. A little bit of issue fixation with Rob now as her arm's starting to ache, and a bit of change there. And Laura's still keeping a good pace on her, hitting 360 points now at 10 seconds, 360 to what's going to be 500 by Rob. One more rep in the desert, 500 bodies, and they're going to coast their way in off the back against 501. Good effort there by Laura to cut into it. Really was just a case of that first round by Johnny going off to an electric start there. So we are going to do our 3 versus 4 fight, and then we're going to do our grand finale with teams 1 versus 2. So I'll just go off quiet now and help organise who's going to be on what platforms when. But great lifting, guys. Great to see the energy in the room. Johnny, do 3 versus 4 and then do 1 versus 2 last as the final. Yeah, just do 3 versus 4 now, then 1 versus 2. Yeah, do 3 versus 4. So you're basically doing your bronze medal match, and then your first, second. Yeah. So it will be, so in order, we've got Deadlift Disco, the Rock and Rollers.
Rack and Rollers are actually game of bells.
Right, so we're going to do long cycle home. So no, 3 and 4 is Rack and Rollers and long cycle home are going to be going first. Then Deadlift Disco versus Kettlebell Zeppelin are the final. Okay. Oh, I thought that was a placing. So okay, okay, all right. So no, we're not. It's long cycle home versus Kettlebell Zeppelin, and then Deadlift Disco versus Rock and Rollers. Okay. Jesus, we made that easy for ourselves, didn't we?
So we've got kettlebells up in this.
Yeah.
Right, next up, Kettlebell Zeppelin versus Long Cycle Home.
So now that everybody's played everybody once, if we had 8 teams or 9 teams in this league, we'd get a longer round robin phase as everyone plays everybody to find their placings. We've got 4 teams that are in this. So what we're going to do for our 3rd and 4th place final, we're going to have the teams that came 3rd and 4th, which are Long Cycle Home and Kettlebell Zeppelin. They're going to face off first. This will decide who comes 3rd and who comes 4th. And then we'll have our final deadlift disco and the rack and rollers, which will be our 1st and 2nd fight. So a minute for people to get organised. Okay, so the athletes are getting ready. So this is the fight off between 3rd and 4th place, and I'm going to expect this one to be a much more of a competitive fight, just like the finals we're going to see. They'll have a few minutes to talk about tactics, talk about what went right, what went wrong, see if they're paying attention, see what they're going to do about the bell weights and bell weight decisions. But so far, we've seen some exciting lifting. The question's going to be, in all reality, is going to be who's going to stop Johnny Skinner with the weight that he can lift. That's going to be the real issue of the day when we get to the top one. Our next one's going to be much more evenly balanced and much more interesting to see. So the head judge is just going to take a quick coffee break. She's been working hard for 15 minutes, which is kind of her limit.
Shut me off!
Sorry, dude.
No, you're
Fresh one anyway.
Oh, you're not trying to hog Kit, are you, Laura? But what you needed to have worked out, like if Amy had gone on for a bit, but no. It's yeah. It's too early on organising this to get any sort of fairness to it. So if it's evenly matched, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to be evenly matched. So you could do a thing. We could seed it. So we say each team can only have one international lifter, or has to have one lifter who. When you start organising it, you can enter it into like novice and yeah. Yep. Let's go for it. Yeah.
It's only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Look, anyone can do 2 minutes. You just got 1 minute to make up for.
I've just done 3.
5-minute warning for the next round.
Laura needs a week off and a massage. So.
We've got Long Cycle Home.
It's like the NBA load management system.
Long Cycle Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron.
Oh, you're a star. Thank you.
So, obviously, you're Long Cycle Home. It was on, so it was like, because obviously it's not from every team.
Yeah.
It's the 3rd and 4th playoffs to figure out where.
So Aaron's team versus Susie, Amy, and yeah. So it's Aaron, Deb, and Tina. Yeah. Versus Susie, Amy, and Laura. Is it? No. You came second. So you won that one, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah. So you're on last. Yeah.
That's how.
I mean, you'd also have more of a playoff. You'd have like 8 teams go through, so you have an 8-4-2, like.
Yeah. Which means you would normally go.
Which in reality would take a long. When you get up to 12, you get 12 teams doing this. It's going to take a whole day. Right? Yeah. So then, no matter what, you go through to a form of playoff. Yeah.
Just make it more interesting than before. It's like
Yeah.
The second day and then have it at a certain place where you can stay.
loving your commentary.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard it yet?
Hey?
Have you heard it yet? You have to play it back.
You
Yeah.
did it before.
Yeah.
5-minute warning.
I'm just annoyed. I didn't know how close the first match was because I did, but it's just what it's. No. It's that's the whole. So what we need to do is just to make sure, like in a pen setup, that the weights have to go before it starts because 10 seconds isn't enough to do it.
So exciting.
It is. Yeah.
And that's kind of what we want for people who don't live.
Because you understand the sport. Like, yeah. Okay, so we're just about getting set for our fourth playoff.
Are you all? Or then you what weight is it?
This is a
The next one.
What are you doing?
What the weight you give her, you have to lift it. The weight you decide now, you're locking it in because it's on flexible scoring system. So go. No, go. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Okay, so Aaron's setting up again on the 24. Now again, Aaron going heavy here, realising that the weight of the bell over 3 minutes is going to be a massive factor because there's only so many reps that are going to realistically be available over a 3-minute spread. So if you can handle a decent pace, even if you get a few less reps for 3 minutes over a heavier set, you're going to accumulate more points. If you're watching pentathlon where you have 6 minutes of lifting, even then with 6 minutes available, if you can get close to the max out range for your point system, the weight of the bell is such a determining factor when you get to the competitive side of it, which is what's forcing the reps to go flying up in the sport internationally. It's a similar concept here. 3 minutes, you only, let's say you can get on jerk 24, 25 reps a minute. Even if your opponent, or even if you can't get 24, 25 reps a minute, if you're 2 kilograms, 4 kilograms, or 6 kilograms heavier than the other person, it's going to accrue to more points in the bank for your team. It's going to give you an edge if your teammates are lifting lighter than their opponents in the next round. So this really is going to become an interesting concept as the sport develops. How heavy can you get decent amount of reps in over a 3-minute period? If we change this system to one hand change, and you've got another limiting factor on the weight you can pick because you can only change once, which I think might be an idea to introduce to this, because what it's going to do is it's going to stop essentially becoming a strength sport and then include more elements of strength endurance, which you get when you only have one hand change. And it also brings it more appealable to people that follow the stricter GS side of these disciplines. So, Aaron, nice and ready now. Okay, shall we have lifters ready? Okay, so first lifters again. She is called Sarah, isn't she? So first lifters up here again, we've got Sarah going up against Aaron, and Aaron making the decision to go up in the bell weight to a 24 kilogram bell. So this is going to counter Alex. You just need to incorporate that Alex will be doing it on snatch, which is traditionally a faster pace than jerk. So there's going to be a fair bit of pressure on Aaron in this jerk set to kind of match the reps that Alex can get from a 24 on snatch. The other thing to consider here is he's going to get a 10 kilogram advantage over Sarah. So for every rep they do, Aaron is going to add up so many more points, similar to Johnny Skinner in the second round we saw. He's going to dump this massive advantage of the points in on the first 3 minutes. It's going to give his team a head start. Then the question is, as you're passing it down
to Tina, who again is a much less experienced lifter. She's going to be on lighter weight. It's going to equate to a chance for Elaine Skinner to catch up. And then maybe at the end, if we're close enough, we'll see a very nice, again, second head-to-head with Alex and Deb. Okay, so these two teams are the teams that face each other first, and we ended up coming in. Have we done this ranking system on who beat who, or just point systems? Because didn't these two face each other in the first game? But they're third and fourth in points, on points. Okay, fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. Yeah. So now they've squared off already before, and they're ranked here on their point system. They've had a chance to think about what weights they want to use. Hence, Aaron making the change in the tactic. Okay, one judge, please, if we can. Judge. Okay. Athletes, are you ready? Boom. Okay. Bell weights are all entered. Judges, are you ready? Al, take it away when you're up. 5, 3, 2, 1, and we're off for a rematch of the first one. Now for third and fourth place. So you've had a little bit of a taste for it. Now you're going to realise here that there's a lot of pressure on Sarah because even bigger point spread now between them. So she is going to have to do everything she can to stop Aaron building an impossible lead. And the other cornerstone that we have is again, we're going to have this showdown here with Deb and Alex. However, Aaron matching on a 24 and Tina going up to a 10 is going to slightly put an edge here onto long cycle home. So, decent start. Both of them are going to probably clear 20 reps on their first minute for their average. Pretty much neck and neck here. In fact, Sarah's maybe just a little bit ahead as Aaron's on the heavier bell for the second one, but both of them breaking 20 reps a minute for the first minute. Now you can see here it's a comfortable 30-point lead for Aaron, but as we've seen in the past, these leads can get eaten up. And as Elaine's going to stick on a 12 and Tina's now on a 10, it's going to give some advantage over to Elaine, but not as much. And if Tina can handle the pace in the next set, it's going to make it a much more of an interesting environment and much more competitive. So Aaron now, as we get into the halfway mark, just about to break 100 points to 50 points by Sarah. So it's pretty much a double effort at the start in terms of points here. Although Sarah is doing on reps a fantastic job on this 12 kilogram belt. Maybe use a little bit of cushion from her quads as the belt comes back down, just to help steady. And there you go. Nice lockout by both. This is the one thing that Aaron will freely admit. He's got about as much strength as I've seen anybody take on the sport. The one thing we all know about the sport, even when you're lifting heavy for 3 minutes, is cardio does keep up. And this is going to start to be a factor. As now Sarah's got a 3-point lead on reps. It's still pretty much doubling the point system. 144 to Aaron in long cycle home, opposed to 70 to 80 on kettlebell Zeppelin. So it is almost a double point difference here, putting the pressure on Elaine and then on Alex to do what he can to catch up. So we are set for a pretty good showdown here, depending on how well Alex and Elaine Skinner can back up this. And again, when you're talking about Elaine Skinner, you're talking about one of the bigger names going back 10, 12 years in the sport. She's incredibly well experienced. She's going to really know what pace she wants. She's going to be very comfortable chipping away here with a slightly heavier bell than Tina. But long cycle homes have made much more changes tactically wise to the bell weight. So 10 seconds to reset. And let's see what Elaine can do, and let's see what Tina can do to fight this off, because Elaine's going to come right out the back here, and just a little better fixation there from Tina I'd like to see. There's Tina flying a little bit ahead here.
Good, that's a slight better drop. A little longer overhead, Tina. Just a little longer. There you go. Let the bell fix out. Good. Cheeky little speed change there. Tina's obviously in the WKSF. And the points just starting to chip away here by Elaine, but Tina is doing a good job at holding her ground here. Elaine, nice, calm and composed, nice lockout, nice fixation. You can hear that drop and that second dip. Belle's looking very steady overhead. 14 reps. Going to end up just on 15 a minute. And 20 a minute for Tina here, so she is doing a good job. But the reps, the points are starting to go in Kettlebell Zeppelin's favour. They're just shy of 100 points down now. So it's just going to be a case of how well Tina can last out on this. We're very calm, poised and controlled Elaine Skinner on here. We're going to, as this comes through, and again, we need to appreciate some of the factors that some of the less experienced lifters here, the fixation is just not going to be the same, but we can move this forward and talk about how we unify the judging system just like any other competition. But it's still a good effort here by Tina. And Elaine looking very calm, very composed here. It's a 34 rep lead to a 27 rep lead from Tina, which is still letting Kettlebell Zeppelin cut into the lead here. It's now just shy of 100. So all eyes now are going to be on Alex and Deb, and they were rep for rep last time round. But it's going to be a case of you're going to watch again with a 6 kilogram advantage going Alex's way. For every rep they do, he's going to cling to this 100-point lead. The question's going to be if Deb can keep control and if Deb can keep a good pace, will she be able to just hold that lead off? A bit like Elaine Skinner's managing to do here, fighting that lead out. So it's a bit like Tina's managing to do here, just keeping Elaine Skinner at bell here, as it's still just around a 100 point, just shy of a 100-point lead here. So as this finishes out, we're going to see Kettlebell Zeppelin about 170. See long cycle here and home on about 265 to 270. So it's 90 points for Alex to make work with a 6 kilogram advantage. So he's gonna have to try and take Deb on speed here, which is easier said than done. As we all saw Deb win her first gold in Peer military style, so we all saw how well she could fixate in that epic showdown against the American team that came right down to the last second. So you're talking about a lifter now that's got a lot of confidence, a lot of experience in international platforms, and Alex knows the assignment because he has come flying out and he's got a slight advantage here in reps on Deb, and Deb with an early change there and a little fatigue on the sprint system showing here. It's now neck and neck. And again, you can see here how Alex is really chasing this lead. It's down to just under 80 from 100 in 40 seconds. So the question is Deb going to tire and can Alex accelerate, or is Deb going to do just enough to hold her? But they're coming in now. Deb's doing a good job here, neck and neck on reps, changing pretty much at the same time as well. And it's coming down to a 70-point lead now. And we're at that first minute. Alex up by 1 rep, but way ahead on the point system with the weights. 250 to 320. Alex is really trying to chase her, but Deb's staying focused, staying controlled. Good fixation by both, and Alex is having to put the speed on now. Coming up to halfway, and he's clawed back. It's now about a 60-point lead. I just don't think there's enough time left here, and I think if Deb just keeps the pace she's at, Deb's just going to hold her off. It's going to be about a 30 to 40 the long cycle home. 350 to 290. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking was going to happen as we're creeping our way into the last minute. It's a 60-point lead now, as Alex kind of knows what he's got to do. Now there's still a minute in this, so it's not a done deal. Alex is really keeping his pace. He's accelerating a little bit now. He's 5 reps clear of Deb, who really just needs to stay focused, stay in her lane, get good reps, rest on the chains, and post this in. We're now a 40-point lead here. So now you start to see the excitement of this sport as there's 45 seconds left. And Alex has got a chance of doing this. He really needs to just keep this cardio for the last 40 seconds. He's not showing any signs of stopping. Deb just started to show the strength, the endurance, the struggle on the arm. 30 seconds and it's 400 to 360, so 40 points. He's not changed now. He's definitely going for it. You've got to give him credit. We've got a 20-second fight here. And Deb's doing just everything she can to hold him off. If there was another minute in this, it would be a different story. But at 30 points to kill now, and just going to scrape by. Long cycle home's going to take a third place. 392. What a finish. What a job Alex did trying to push it. What a job Deb did, just enough to hold it up. And those two little changes there that made a difference was Tina going up to a 10 and Aaron going up to a 24. A 10 kilogram lead on the first lift and then a 6 kilogram lead the other way on the last lift. But great lifting by all three. That's something we really want to show you is how exciting relays can be in a shorter length set when you really can get some weight lifted, put some points on the board, and you can have your tactics as you really make some decisions here. So great game plan by Long Cycle Home, great effort by Alex there, great job by all lifters. Deb just did enough to hold on. So Long Cycle Home take the third place. A great job there by Alex. Now we've got Kettlebell Zeppelin coming in on that fourth. So the last one to go for us now, we've got our matchup for 1 and 2. Again, it's going to be another matter of, will Johnny be able to put enough distance on the first lift against Amy Crump? So decisions people are going to make. Will Susie Edge go up by 2 kilograms? Will Amy Crump try and go a little bit heavier to just see if she can mitigate the onslaught Johnny's going to do? And with Laura Grant on a 16, is she going to get the pace needed in order to bring that back? The other factor you're going to see is, will people lifting with Johnny, will Robert Crabb be able to go a little bit heavier? Will Bev be able to go a little bit heavier? That's going to be those little details that work against you. If you go too heavy and you're not ready for it and the reps don't go up, 3 minutes can still be a long time to be stuck with a heavy belt. So we're going to take a 1 and 2 minute break now while the last people get ready for it. And we're going to see our final showdown between teams 1 and 2.
When I'm the influence, no Johnny music. We go right back to rap country on the track. I was once broke, I was down bad, swear I'm never going back. I'm from upstate, where we see a little bit of this and some of that. Little serious of sticks. Watch me put it on the map, someone get attacked. If you're not first and you're last, life is a race, don't you lag. I get a bag and I stack. The reason I tax was not cause they needed me. Got all of mine equally. I see what they need from me. Blood, sweat, and tears from the frequency. Now you believe in me. Cheers for me. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down.
I might stay in for some battle times if you want. Or do some lifting or yeah. You're gonna go back up and do it yours? I don't mind. Like, no, I don't mind. I got to pick Poppy up at 1:30, so I've not got forever. Okay, so we're gearing up for the last lift of the day. Cash, no checks, cause the checks bounce. I don't check about that, I'm the best out. And I did all of this with a pen and a pad. Shift up the tech, got the notes in the lab. Remember the days when I want what I had. Still want more, guess I'm stuck in the past. First or your last. Fast lane, chuck up the juice when I pass. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the total, I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself, 8 times, no trick. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the Alex, would you mind judging? All right. Cheers, bro. Cheers. Okay. All right. Shall we get athletes to the platform, please? Athletes in progress as well. All right, so Amy Crump using the same weight bell at 22 kg. So we've got another 10 kilogram sledge weight here. The question is going to be, did Johnny go off too quick for the first 3 minutes? Is he going to be able to put up another monster 30 rep a minute set here? And can Amy find a little bit more to just kind of mitigate damage control? Because that's what this first set's going to be all about. How much damage can Johnny do? Is it going to be enough that Rob and Bev can hold off the onslaught from Laura and Susie? And if they don't go up in weights, I strongly think that the same thing is going to happen from last time they faced off. So in the point system of this, the teams are facing each other again because that's how the teams rank 1, 2, 3, 4 on points. If we did this by a win and a loss, it would make it different and they'll be facing different teams. So if you're going to let people go head to head, it might make more sense to do this. If you win, you get a point, and when you lose, you get a point. Because you only have 4 teams to start off with this. You decided to do it on a point basis. Okay, all right. Al, you good? Good? Yep. Okay, athletes, are you ready? Judges, are you ready? All right. Al, when you're good. And we're off. And one thing you can see from Johnny's technique, if you're watching this and you're new to the sport, is the difference in getting speed. It's not about how fast you move. Johnny's not actually going that much quicker than Amy. What's happening is he's landing the bell right exactly where he wants to land it on that hip. So it means that the bell is only going straight up, straight down. And this is about efficiency of movement. And this is what allows the ability to almost make it like, quote, quote, a machine or a hydraulic. Whereas when the weight's a little bit uncomfortable for Amy there and the bell's not landing in exactly the same spot and you've got to move it, and those little adjustments Amy's making when the bell's in the rack, Johnny Skinner's not having to make. There's no room at the top. It's already nice and slot. You're exactly that arm still, the bell still. You don't have to wait for fixation with it. And what that means is when he comes back into the change, his left elbow is exactly where it was last time round, right into that gap where your hip pocket would be, bang. And then as soon as the bell's up, it's still. And it just gets read per these little things in efficiency with these really experienced lifters. It just allows you to just keep that momentum that Johnny's got because you're not having to make these adjustments that cost you time and actually burn out energy as well. But it's still a good lift by Amy. She's on 30 reps in the 90 seconds. She's giving her 20 reps a minute. It's a very respectable pace for Jerk. But just by comparison, Johnny's about to hit 50 and he's now on 200 points to Amy's 90. So it's a valiant effort by Amy, but again, it's just too much damage being done by the heavy lift. And the only way to really mitigate this as we make these relays go on would be if we made it a single switch event, and then Johnny would have to really kind of think, what pace can he do if he's got to go for 90 seconds on one arm? And that would be one of the things going forward if this wants to hold its own against other levels of competition. Just a decision you want to make about whether you're going to do multi-switch or single switch. It just means the athletes have to have a tactic. You're only going to change once. So 45 seconds left in the first one of this final. 74 reps to 44 reps from Amy. And again, Johnny changes, lands in the pocket, and there's no movement. As soon as that bell lands, he's ready to go. You have to have the cardio and the strength endurance to be able to go straight away. You can see the difference here between that. It's just under complete control of the bell. Every rep is exactly the same as the one before. It's been that way for a whole set of Johnny. So he's coming out to 88 reps now, 350 points, 138. So it's going to be a 200 point onslaught here that game of bells, the name keeps changing, and now going to have to come up with. So now we've got Susie again in the 10, and Bev again in the 10. So what's going to happen here again? The same thing as last time. You're just not going to have the ability to do too much damage here. As experienced lifter as Susie is, because you're only going to get an advantage if you get more reps in. In over 3 minutes, there's not enough time for Susie to get that many reps above Bev in this time frame, which is just going to mean that there's going to be a little bit of a cut to the lead as Susie's 2 reps clear here, but it's not going to be enough of a cut to really affect the score. So we're coming in 170 to 383, and Tina again doing a good job battling against a much more experienced lifter in terms of just staying in a lane, focusing on technique. These bounces that are happening here, the more she gets to lift, the more she'll iron these out, okay? And we're still working on kind of timing the second dip and the fixation, but bear in mind that Bev's done about 3 hours worth of training on this, coming from a normal kettlebell class, very only recently coming into a kettlebell sports class. She's actually doing a really good job. I like the way she's learning to let that other hand come back and provide some momentum for her. She's got a very upright rest in the rack. You might want to see her create a slight angle for, but she's not holding onto the bell. You can see her fingers overhead. She's getting some element to dip. For the amount of time she's been giving this a go, she really is giving a good account of herself here. And on a reps basis, you know, Susie is taking the lead here at 33 now to 26, coming up to the minute mark. And she has done some dent to the lead now. It's about a 200-point lead from 50-point lead, but it's just not going to give enough of a chance for Laura to really take 200 points straight. Now the other big difference here is Robert Crabb looks like he's going up and going to try and use a 16 to match Laura Grad. Now the question here is going to be, at that weight, is it going to work in his favour, or is he going to find that a very confident Laura can get close to 20 reps a minute at 16 kilograms for military snatch? And I know this through her training programs that I do with her. She's going to get 16 to 18 reps. And Robert, if he uses that 16, trying to get the technique on it, it's just going to push him out of his cardio zone, his comfort zone, the cardio work, which is something that, you know, knowing him, I know he's going to work on. So it's a different tactic. It's good to see that the lifters have switched on to kind of working out some element of tactic for this. And again, we're coming in at a 200-point difference, almost bang on here, 429. All on Laura, and she's going to have to really go at the speed of light to significantly dent this. But let's see what Robert Crabb can do here. He's not a slow lifter. It's just whether he starts to tire as we go through. Again, nice use of the arm, nice use of the backswing. I call it how it is. That's what ESPN pays me for. Laura looking again very confident, very collected. But the question is, it's just not going to be enough time in the day like last time round on a 3-minute set to pull back a 200-point lead. She's inevitably gonna make a dent in it, although at the moment it's staying rep for rep. So at least you're gonna see a nice little head-to-head between the two lifters here. And Rob's doing a nice job there. Just the roll-offs coming to the front rather than rotating, which is something that we're working on here. But it's nice to see how well he backswings it now. It's nice to say. I'd like to see maybe a little more fixation of the head if we're getting straight from the judging. But now Rob's actually putting some distance between it because he's creeping up to a 1-rep lead here just before the change. So we're going to see a nice little showdown between these two because I know they're pretty competitive. So at least we're going to see a fight to the end on this one. And again, it's going to end up being the same story. It's going to end up being about a 200-point edge here as we get to the halfway point. But Rob's done a very good job on this 16, going rep for rep with Laura, taking on one of the most experienced snatch lifters that we've got here with the Wolfpack. So he's done a great job here, literally matching rep for rep. And you can see it's starting to lead a little, just a little slip there. And now again, just a little bit of slow. Now this is just this element that I think was going to happen now is Laura's going to edge it on points, but on reps. But because they're matched even in the bell and Rob made the decision to go up to a 16, it's just in this last minute, it's just going to keep them at bay and they're going to coast in about a 200-point lead.
Come on, Laura.
Into the last 45 seconds.
Keep the pace. Keep the pace. Come on, guys. Keep the pace. Come on, Laura. Go on. Come on, you've got this. Come on.
30 seconds left now. And again, that little slip gave Laura room and time to get a 2-rep advantage. But it's just not going to be anywhere near enough. And we're sitting here with about a 200-point, pretty much bang on a 200-point landslide here. Finishing in the final 10 seconds. So there's a good fight by Laura. Good fight by Laura, Susie and Amy. Just not enough with 561 to 366 in first place. And that's going to take it in here. So Deadlift Disco is going to take the first place. Laura, Susie, and Amy are going to take second with Game of Bells, and that's going to be enough for us now. And we're going to go off here. But hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing what this relay event can turn into. We have to make a few tweaks to it and have to have some way of making some kind of seeding system if we allocate lifters for it. If we don't do teams that come in, but. Nice to see the new lifters, nice to see experienced lifters, and nice to see some old lifters come back into it. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you very much. And that's us here from the Wolfpack, that's us here from KBX, and that's us here from Battle Bell. Oh, yeah. Need to stop it, yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love doing this. I've got my first public speaking.